Your business is going to blow up in the next 3 months from following the steps in this video. Think of this as your guide to glow up to blow up. All of these tips have come from my 5 years of experience running a 6-figure business, and I really want to share what actually has shifted the needle in my journey and what hasn't, and what's been a waste of time. So let's dive in with the very first tip, and it is a boring one, and I don't want you guys to hate me for this, but organization is key. If you are wanting to see that exponential growth, if you're wanting to scale, you have to have systems in place, you have to have the right automation, you have to have a slick calendar that is supporting you and enabling you to work more efficiently. Without the proper systems in place, you are going to become the bottleneck of your business, and that is going to prevent growth. This is where today's sponsor comes in, Trello. Trello is a personal productivity tool that helps you capture, organize, and get that to-do list done. It's one of the best organizational softwares for entrepreneurs or fellow social media strategists like me. If you're struggling with keeping up with your client work, juggling multiple projects, you need a Trello board. Soon you'll be able to forward emails and Slack messages to your Trello inbox and sync your calendar with the new planner feature. These are just some of the amazing new things coming out to help users accomplish even more with their tasks and to-do lists. Now, if any of my regular viewers are wondering where the hell I am today, I'm actually recording this video in my brand new content studio, and Trello has been my lifeline throughout this project. Like, I went into this a little bit delulu, being like, hey, you've already opened one content studio, Alan. A second one will be a piece of cake. Luckily, I did have a Trello board, and I used this to map up every single aspect or element of the project. So right from signing the lease through to our move-in date, any appointments for having my internet connected, meeting the landlord, having security installed. I tracked every single shipment of orders because all of the furniture I've bought from a million different shops. So I tracked every single thing that I wanted to purchase. Then when I purchased it, it moved into the next column on my Trello board where I date it on its expected arrival time. My brain has been a bit all over the place at the moment, and I really gotta apologize to my video editor because I still feel a little bit scatterbrained taking on this big project. And if it wasn't for my Trello board, I don't think I would have got it done. I would have forgotten so much. The next thing you want to be doing to blow up your business in the next 3 months is focusing on discipline, not motivation. This really flows on nicely from the organizational step, because organization and systems is going to support your discipline and make it feel easier. But I honestly think it's a complete myth when people say Ellen, you're so motivated, or they look at other entrepreneurs and they're like, how are they so motivated? Oh, they're just such a motivated person. I'm not motivated. I'm not motivated for most of my week. I mean, maybe not most of my week, but definitely I struggle some days. I'm not like this immune person who can just wake up and be like, yes, I'm ready to seize the day. That doesn't happen every day. Growth comes from taking consistent daily action. And when I have one of those days where I don't wake up feeling motivated, I will come back to my goals and sort of recenter and ask myself, why am I doing this? What do I want to achieve? What am I working towards? It's about creating habits that can support yourself and are going to support growth. So instead of having the habit of rolling over and waking up and going on your phone every morning, instead create a habit where you're getting up and maybe you're going for a morning walk, or maybe you're reading an inspirational book. That's something that I really like to do in the mornings. I'll make my little hot chocolate and I'll go sit down with my book and I'll read a couple of pages, or I might journal instead. Now, I want to be fully transparent with you guys. This is not always easy. It is way easier to roll over in bed and pick up my phone and have a little dopamine scroll. That is easier. And that is where we have to understand that when it comes to growth, there may be some sacrifices. There may be points where we don't want to do it, and we have to tap into discipline over motivation. If you sit around waiting for motivation to strike, you're going to end up wasting a lot of time, and you're not going to see this exponential growth in a short period of time. Stick to your daily to-do list, stick to your routines, and don't just wait around for motivation to strike. Step number 3, when it comes to blowing up your business in the next 3 months, is all about hiring help. And this is going to look different for everyone depending on your skills, depending on the areas that you need the most help with. But what I'll say is any time where I've been stuck at an income bracket and I can't quite get to the next level, when I have hired the right new team member, it's kind of like a key that just unlocks that next level and makes it feel easy. Now, yes, arguably, if you're trying to get to a 10K milestone, 10K monthly milestone, and I know that's common for a lot of you guys, if you're trying to get there and you can't do it solo and then you have to hire help and maybe you're paying that person $800 a month for whatever work that they're doing for you, yes, arguably, your profit margins are going to come down. But I think it's really important when you're on the journey of scaling to realize that you can't do this alone. This is where you really start to shift from the freelancer into the CEO. I've been through a lot of changes in my business. I started with a virtual assistant, social media assistants, community managers, and as my business evolves and changes, so do the people that work for me. A little bit of a juicy insight here, but last year I actually fired 80% of my contractors and team members because I realized I was at this point where, number one, I wanted to shift directions and go slightly down a different path with my business and something that I felt really excited about, and not all my team members fitted in with that new business model. So it was simply a case of we'd outgrown each other. But number two, there were definitely some contractors that I worked with where their services were no longer providing me enough ROI. Like I was paying them $1,000 a month and I wasn't seeing the return on that investment. And I think you have to make tough decisions. As soon as you start bringing in new team members, you have to be like, okay, if you're not performing, you're gone. And that's one mistake I've made and really has held me back a little bit from my growth in 2024, was holding on to team members who were no longer the right fit or simply weren't performing. And I was just too afraid of the confrontation. And I was like, I don't want to have that difficult conversation. So I avoided it. And then what do you know? I was working with a contractor for like, 7 or 8 months who really wasn't doing the job that I needed them to do. So my 2025 energy, and I would love to bring you guys along this sort of train and get you on the train with me, is like, we do not pay contractors unless they are performing, unless they are adding value to our business. Recently, I actually just hired a new operations manager, and this is an entirely new role in my business. I've never hired someone like this before, and this is a prime example of just the new evolution of my business. It's only been like 3 weeks since I hired this person, and I can already feel the level shift. I'm like, yes, I've found it. I've found the right key. This is the contractor, this is the sport that I need to scale to the next level. So I'm really feeling that energy with you guys of let's see the exponential growth. Let's see where the next 3 months can take us. In terms of how I manage my team members, at the moment, my operations manager, her to-do list, her tasks, her SOPs, all of that information are in a separate Trello board, and she actually set this up for me, which was part of the reason why I wanted to hire an operations manager, because coming back to point number one, I really want to streamline some of my back-end systems and automations. And it was really funny when I sat down and interviewed her, I was like, have you ever used Trello before? And she was like, I love Trello. Girl, you're talking to the right person. It's also essential when you're managing team members to have some kind of space like a Trello board where you can manage the tasks that they're doing, or you can observe and make sure they're hitting their KPIs. Again, this is something that I learned the hard way over time, of letting contractors and team members just like go and do their thing. And then sometimes things would just slip through the cracks and I would come and check back on them in 3 months' time, and there were deliverables or tasks that were getting forgotten. So having a collaborative board like on Trello is really, really important for managing your team. You guys know already that I love the new inbox and planner features that are coming to Trello. I've already been given a sneak peek and the beta version and being able to test them all out. But this is also super handy when it comes to managing my team, conversations or tasks that pop up in my email inbox. I can just forward straight to a Trello board and it will auto-populate with a card. Step number 4 for scaling your business. We just need to keep moving. Do you guys know the scene from Finding Nemo that just keep swimming, just keep swimming? That's what you need to be doing. Exponential growth comes, again, from what I said earlier, daily action, but you are going to have setbacks. You are going to have people that don't believe in you. And the thing that creates the most impact in your business is often the small steps just compounding. When I look at my content studio as an example and what I've built at the moment, I know that I wouldn't be here in this new studio if I hadn't taken that small step with a smaller studio and started there. So sometimes it's not about taking crazy action and completely changing your life. It's the compounding effect of those smaller steps that can really make a difference. One of my favorite new features on Trello is the planner. This enables me to time block out moments in my calendar, perhaps in between meetings, where I really want to work on needle shifting projects in my business. For example, you are not going to see exponential growth in your business if you are not focusing on marketing at the moment. So making sure that you're finding even just a 30-minute time slot in your day to be like, hey, okay, this is when I'm going to film reels, or this is when I'm going to show up on Instagram stories. Again, it's about those small little steps, the small bits of action every single day, and you just have to keep moving. Something that stopped me from opening the second content studio for a while was looking at it as a really big, scary project. And when I'm able to break things down into little daily tasks, or like, hey, let's spend 30 minutes looking for new locations, or let's block out Friday next week to view locations, to scout new locations for the studio. Like, just breaking it down into tiny steps helps so much. Step number 5 in your journey to scaling and blowing up your business: stop the comparison. CEOs do not sit there comparing themselves or their business to someone else they see on Instagram. Instagram is a machine that is only putting out people's like highs, their accomplishments, their successes, or most of the time if people are sharing like their downsides or things that they've struggled with, it is like from a reflective place, or like, oh, look, now I've overcome it, and this is how you can too. So it's very, very hard, I think, as a business owner to be constantly surrounded by that. It's so easy to fall into comparison. But if you are looking to blow up your business in the next 3 months, I want you to put your blinders on. Like, do not look. Like, put them up and be like, I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking what everyone else is doing. I'm focusing on my own goals. I'm focusing on getting freaking organized, on hiring my dream team, perfecting my office suite, because these are the things that are going to shift the needle. Controversial opinion, but screw market research. That is such a gateway to comparison. And I know every single business class online talks about the importance of market research. And again, I have done it in my business. There's a time and a place for it. But I really have seen with a lot of the clients I've worked with and a lot of the students who've come through my programs that it just leads to unnecessary comparison. And 9 times out of 10, you know what you need to be doing. You know what your audience wants from you. And if anything, you could do some audience research, audience analysis, but stay away from the competitor research, because that is where you're going to fall into that comparison trap. And I really don't think it's that important to be shifting the needle in your business. Focus on your own lane. Spend more time on content ideation, creating your own social media strategy. I actually uploaded a video recently, in case you guys missed it, where I broke down how I create my social strategy and also gave you a free template so you can do it yourself. Now, I have to disclaim, there is a section on there where you are meant to do your industry analysis and look at industry leaders. But again, if you're struggling at the moment and you are in this phase of scaling, I would advise just skipping that step. If you want to watch that video, I'll link it down below in the description box. Step number 6. Get off your social media. I know I just said this, but when you're getting off social media, I want you to instead fill your time with reading, upskilling, and also getting outside for inspiration. I know it sounds really cheesy, like just go for a walk and you'll feel inspired, but trust me, it works. Again, this is what the 6-figure CEOs and the 7-figure CEOs are doing. They are not doom scrolling. That is not a productive use of time. And I just want to give you a real kick up the butt today and be like, get off your phones and instead use that extra time that you're saving to spend on your business, to spend on furthering yourself. I've recently taken a YouTube course. I also took a course on creating better digital products and automated funnels. And I also signed up to work with a new business coach. So those are the kind of things that I'm doing and how I'm spending my time. On weekends, I really like to make sure I'm going to a Pilates class, or I'm playing like golf, or, other things like that, going to the beach with friends, rather than just obsessing over my phone. When I get off my phone, ironically, that's also where I have the best content ideas. Step number 7 is another important one, more of like the woo-woo up here rather than like the practical steps. But I really want you to stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Can I get a hell yeah from the perfectionists in the room? I think we wait too often in business for like all our ducks to be in a row instead of just taking action. And again, this has been a theme with a lot of the tips and steps that we have mentioned in today's video. It's all about getting organized. It's all about taking action, small daily steps rather than the big scary ones. And a great example of this I thought recently that popped up on my Instagram feed was Meghan Markle's brand. She recently launched her like home goods or styling kind of business. I think she's literally selling jam. I don't really know. But she launched her brand called As Ever. And it was actually a year ago that she launched or tried to launch under a different brand name. And she had a whole bunch of issues with trademarking, which means she announced her business and then like for an entire year, we didn't hear anything from her. It was like, is this business still happening? What I thought was really awesome is someone operating on the level of Meghan Markle, whether you like her or don't like her, I know she's a controversial figure, but let's admit she's like pretty high up there in terms of global stardom. She operates on a high level. Like girl is, got a lot of money in the bank. And if she can put herself out there and kind of like screw up, but keep taking action and move on from it, so can you, right? You do not have to have everything perfect before you announce your business or announce your new offer. For example, again, let's come back to my content studio because that's all that's on my mind at the moment. But we started sharing posts on social media about the new content studio from the day that we signed the lease, from the day that we got keys. I mean, we were kind of technically like on a 2-day behind schedule, so I had a little bit of time up my sleeve. But on a whole, I really believe in like documenting and putting stuff out there before it's fully finished because number one, you can get feedback from your audience, which is so valuable in terms of developing your offer or your product, but also like people relate to it so much more. And I think we have to get more comfortable as business owners with taking messy action. The only people that can pull that off in the world are Taylor Swift and Beyonce when they surprise drop an album, right? Keep taking action, keep taking messy action and just keep moving forward because that is where you get the momentum. That is where you develop more of that discipline as well. And that is when you start to see the exponential growth. I feel like I'm overheating. We've really like dived into some big juicy topics here. Growing a business is no easy thing. It is challenging. You're going to face a lot of hurdles along the road, but it's also incredibly rewarding at the same time. And I'm really excited to be doing that again with my content studio, as well as having done that with my agency, with my online courses, my digital products. And this is the coolest thing about being an entrepreneur. Like it never ends. There's always a new problem to solve. There's always a new business you can start. And I feel really lucky every day to do a job that I love. So thank you guys for watching and thanks to our amazing sponsor, Trello. I'll drop a link down below if you'd like to sign up for Trello for free and test it out. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.